Well, welcome back, and congratulations. Obviously, it took 2 times to get it done, but you got the UFC deal now. I guess what's the feeling now that it's all official?
Man, I feel great. I feel just very excited and grateful for all the people that have put so much time and effort into me. I'm super happy to make them proud and to go out there and perform well. It just means the most to me that I can put a smile on all their faces. My family, my training partners, all my teammates, all the people at American Top Team. So, wouldn't be here without them, and just very, very grateful at this point.
You had a very positive attitude last time you were here, but was there any part of you that when you left was like, what the hell are we doing? Just give me a UFC deal. Why am I having to come back and do this again?
No, not at all. I was just excited to get to compete again. For me, obviously going out there and winning is fun, but I enjoy competition. I enjoy going out there, putting it on the line, and having all those emotions and feelings, having to overcome all that stuff, and that's the best part of what I do. So, competing again on Contender Series was my best chance to compete again soon. So, for me, it's all about that, and I'm very grateful for every opportunity that I get to do that.
What were the last 7 weeks for you like as, between fights, I guess? I mean, it seems like, I know you've kind of been in the spotlight your whole life, but I mean, this new audience that's growing and attaching to you and gaining a ton of attention. I mean, what have these past 2 months between fights been like for you?
It's definitely interesting. I feel good because I feel like I've really built up to this point. I think some people kind of get that, I guess, fame and stardom, like it's 0 to 100. And for me, it's been a slow build just through wrestling and all the time I've put since a young age to get to where I am. So I feel very confident and prepared, and I know how to handle these type of things. It's just been something that's, again, I've made small incremental steps to get to where I'm at. It's not been 0 to 100, and so I know how to handle it, and I have a great team around me, great people that all love me and care about me, and I trust them. So I just overall just continuing to improve, get better, and on to the next.
Did tonight feel any different than the first time around? I mean, was there a different comfort level or maybe even increased nerves? I don't know. What was it like?
I felt more comfortable just knowing the process of what you go through just to compete in Contender Series, knowing all the people and the same routine. That's definitely provides some comfort and stuff. But at the same time, there was definitely more pressure on this fight. With me winning the last fight, and not getting the contract, and then having to win this fight as well against a much more experienced opponent, a much better opponent. But those are the type of situations where I'm going to rise to the occasion. No matter what, I believe in myself. I know what I'm capable of. I believe in my team, and I know when more pressure there is, the bigger the moment, I'm going to perform even better.
How do you envision your career going, Bo? I mean, obviously you're clearly talented, but you're also just 3-0, which is wild, right? I mean, so do you see as like, I want to be facing ranked contenders next year? I mean, how do you see your path?
I'm a year into this, so I don't really feel like I need to rush. I am excited just to continue to compete and improve. I think by the middle or end of 24 that I'll be the champ and I'll be the number one guy on the roster. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and I'm not skipping steps on the way there. I feel like I've had made a great progression in my first 3 fights, fighting guy 0-0, fighting guy 3-0, fighting guy 7-1, steps up in competition each time, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I know what I'm capable of doing, so I believe that those goals that I say constantly are very attainable for me.
Last thing for me, obviously your official debut is going to be much anticipated, I guess. Have you had those conversations yet in terms of what you envision? I mean, do you need some time off now after these back-to-back fights? Do you want to book something quickly? Like, where do you want to see your debut happen?
I'm ready to go. Get me in there December. I told Dana and told Hunter, I said, I'm ready to go, guys. I'm on my way out of the octagon. I said, book me again. So hopefully December, main card, whatever event they have going around that time, I would be very excited to be a part of. And I'm healthy and excited and continuing to improve, so I want to continue to fight. And that's, again, like I said earlier, the most exciting part of what I do, so I want to get back in there right away.
Bo, to your right, could I? We were kidding at ringside how soon you would shoot, right, and get in there. But how does it make you feel, the fact that you hurt him with the left hand, and then you finish him with your jiu-jitsu, right? It wasn't just you mauled him with your wrestling, but you showed different elements of your game. Did that mean any more to you to be able to do it that way?
It definitely meant more to me. It's exciting to be able to showcase those new things, and those are things I'm working on with my coach, with my boxing coach Moose, my striking coach Barry Robinson, with Mike Brown, as well as my jiu-jitsu coach Marcel Ferreira. So, huge shout outs to all those guys who are, putting a lot of time and energy into me, helping me get better. Very appreciative of all of them. And yeah, it's nice to be able to showcase all the things that I can do, because that just gives my opponents more and more things to worry about. I think all my fights I finish guys different ways. So, I don't know how they're going to game plan for me moving forward, but it's going to be tough.
And just, I know you were, I guess, kidding me when you called out Khamzat, but when you look at him and he has that great high-level wrestling, like, how do you see a matchup with him down the road going if you were to fight him?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about as far as kidding, but, I feel like that's a good matchup for me. He's obviously a high-level grappler, a high-level fighter. He's one of the top fighters not only in his division, but in the UFC. So I have a lot of respect for his skills, but I also know what I'm about. So, yeah, at some point, I'm making my UFC debut, right? Like, he's probably fighting for the title soon. So am I going to get that fight? Probably not, but I'm ready to go, and it will happen in the future, and I'll be more than prepared then.
Bo, you said you don't want to skip any steps as you build your way up through your resume, but is there a part of you that thinks, hey, I could be really special here and come in at the top level and just prove right away that I'm one of the best in the world and do something that no one else has ever done? Is there a part of you that wishes they would book you like that?
I think that I don't really feel like I need to prove that to anybody or do it for anybody other than myself. So, and my family and my team, all the people that love me, so and that are close with me. So I don't really care to prove to other people, and I think everybody that I'm close with knows what I'm capable of and knows what I can do. So when the time comes, more and more people will continue to jump on the bandwagon. Right now, for me, it's about developing, getting better, sharpening all my skills. I'm always going to have a better wrestling base than anybody I fight. And now, but that's not going to, at the end of the day, be enough to be UFC champion, #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, which is my goal. So I got to continue to sharpen my wrestling and sharpen all of my other skills that I need to get there. And I'm extremely confident that I will when the time's right.
Khamzat's grappling is obviously hyped up a lot, and what he did against Kevin Holland was very impressive in the first round. But do you look at him and when you compare your skills, just think these guys don't know what they're watching in MMA, and I'm going to come and show them, or do you accept the fact that okay, this guy's a great grappler as well?
No, he's good. Without a doubt, you can't take that away from him. He's got skills, and he does a lot of things really well. That being said, ask anybody that knows anything about wrestling and who watches the sport and studies it and puts time into it. I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world, and you can go in the Penn State room and know that still to this day, without having wrestled a year and a half, I'm still right there. And so there's just a different level there. It's like the same thing as putting a high-level, jiu-jitsu guy in UFC in an ADCC competition. Yeah, I'm good at wrestling. I'm world class. It's different. So again, respect to him. I respect his skills, but I also know what I'm about.
Hey, Bo. There's 2 events in December that you might like. There's one in Florida, and then there's one at the end of the month in Vegas. Which one would you prefer?
Doesn't matter to me, either one. Probably the Florida event. I think it's a little earlier, so I would like to get back ASAP. So let's get it on in Florida.
And we've been overloaded by Dagestani wrestlers, Russian wrestlers, Jordan wrestlers. Are you happy to bring back United States wrestling?
100%. I love representing my country. I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to represent USA Wrestling. I think that we have the best wrestling on planet Earth, and a lot of our guys, our high-level wrestlers, aren't transitioning over to fighting. They're continuing to wrestle and show it out on the world and Olympic stage, and so I'm happy to really represent in the mixed martial arts cage. And so for me, that's something that I really hold near and dear to me, and I'm proud to represent just because that's been a part of my life, literally my whole life. My grandpa was a wrestling coach, my dad's a wrestling coach, so I was born and on a mat within a few weeks, and that's something that I'll always carry with me forever.
Yeah, as you said, those college wrestlers either, they go two ways. Do you hope that they will see you and hopefully more will transition, or does everyone have their own path?
I think everybody has their own path, and I wouldn't really push people to fight if, it just has to be what's in your heart. And for me, that's what's in my heart. That's what I'm most passionate about. And I think there are going to be other guys that are coming up, after me that are going to feel that same way and that they want to go compete in MMA and show what they can do. And so, I'm excited to kind of trailblaze that for them again. I mean, there's been obviously a ton of great wrestlers in the past. And now we're going to bring in this new generation with me as the first guy and hopefully, dominate the entire sport once again.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bo, you mentioned you're pretty much born on the wrestling mat and with your family behind you. What was their reaction when you said, I want to be a UFC fighter?
Mm-hmm. They were always super supportive of me. Both my parents, both athletes. My mom played basketball in college. My dad played football in college. And my mom, got some amateur boxing matches too. So they understand sports and they understand fighting. And they understand competing at a high level. So, I think that I've always felt super supportive from them from a very young age. And I knew what kind of goals I wanted to achieve at a young age. And they were always there for me to help facilitate that. And they continued to do that for me. So, I love my parents so much, and I'm very grateful for their support.
Was there any convincing on your part to bring them to UFC, or were they pretty much already there?
No convincing. They were like, let's do it. Let's get it. They're excited. They've been at every single one of my fights, and they're, cheering the loudest. So I think, they love the sport just like I love the sport. And it feels good to, have that support and know that, they got my back and that they are excited to watch me do what I do.
And in your post-fight interview, you haven't had your first UFC fight yet, and you want Khamzat, and if not him, you mentioned Logan Paul outside of the UFC. Why is that a fight that interests you?
I just love big fights, like big matches, anything that's exciting that gets me up in the morning and makes me nervous. That's the type of thing that I want to pursue because that's how I know I'm really alive. Like if I'm a little scared and nervous to go do something, that's what I'm gonna chase after because that's how I want to live my life. That's what's exciting and fun for me. And so I see Khamzat as one of the toughest guys in the sport. That's a guy I want to fight. I see Logan Paul as an amazing athlete and a guy who's doing huge, big things. And so either of those guys would be absolute dream to compete against.
Any other names besides those two?
Of course, I could go, do you got a list of the roster? Because I'll just name them, every single guy. I'm coming for you. That's, haven't made my debut yet, maybe some of these guys aren't watching out for me, but I'm coming. They better be ready.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.